Oh, sorry. Okay, well, that time in the... Sorry, I said, not you are my son. Sorry. Never mind. Wait. Just forget about that whole rant. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so after that, it says, at once the Spirit sent him out into the desert. It says sent, as if he, just go to the desert. But I'm sure Jesus didn't want to go to the desert. He, in Hebrew, it says drove, not sent him out.
Like they got a Ferrari, and he's like...
Maybe not a Ferrari, but maybe a Camaro. So he drove him out into the desert, and he was in the desert for 40 days being tempted by Satan. He was with the wild animals, and the angels attended to him. So right there, it says the angels attended to him. In the English Standard Version, it says the angels ministered to him. Minister means protected. And another thing, the reason it mentions that he was in the desert with the wild animals was because the wild animals, they were able to attack him, but the angels ministered to him. And by protecting him, what do you think they did?
Well, in Daniel, it says, Daniel was in the lion's den, and it says that he didn't get killed by anything, and so that means that the angels were protecting him, so they probably shut their mouths, or God did.
So it shows that he's wearing the Daniel hat here, right here, showing that he is Daniel in this moment.
And then it says after that, whenever Daniel was alive, they threw in the people who accused him, and the people didn't even touch the ground before they got eaten.
Mm-hmm.
So
the angels are protecting him. In verse 14, it says, not that time, not 14. In verse 16, it says, as Jesus walked beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and his brother Andrew casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. And just a little tidbit. Simon, his name was Shimon, and that meant the listener. And Andrew, his name was Andros, and it meant manly man. So,
okay.
Just say the read why they were so excited about going.
They were so excited about going because they were
Wait, let me read one more verse. When he had gone a little farther, he saw that James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John in a boat, preparing their nets. Without delay, he called them, and they left their father Zebedee in the boat with the hired men and followed him. They just left him there in the boat.
And his dad was probably so excited because whenever kids, they tried to be disciples, and at first they had to go to that sector. That means the house of reading, where they learned the
first 5 books.
The first 5 books. And if they didn't do that, then they were sent away and to do their father's job. And then if they passed that, they had to pass Bet Midrash, I think.
Let me see it. Bet Midrash, I don't know.
It's really hard to read. And then that means House of Thoughts, where they learn
the rest of the Old Testament, and then the rest of the Old Testament. Then they memorized the New Testament. They memorized, and then no, they didn't because that hadn't happened yet.
I think they memorized all the way to the minor prophets.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they passed that, then they would go to Bet Talmud. And that means house of study,
which is it's kind of like the commentaries and everything for Bibles. It's like that, but a whole other book of commentaries that they have to memorize. So it's pretty insane.
Those people.
Yeah.
Those bad people.
Okay.
They're writing the Bible. And then if they passed that, then they would be, the house of study, then they would try and be the disciple, or they would be a scribe.
Yeah, after the Bet Sepler, they were taken in by a rabbi to be trained, but if you don't pass that, you can't become a rabbi. So what they'd say, they'd be like, how many times does it say raven in the Bible? 7? Correct. Now name them. And then they would name them. If they messed up, they weren't able to become a rabbi. So that's probably why they were so excited to go, because, I mean, it literally says, that's basically saying, come on, I think you can be like me. I want you to be like me. I think you have what it takes. And they usually said, what does your father do? He fishes. You need to take that up with him. And that's probably why they were in the boat with him, showing that all of the things that we see, all the movies, they all have beards. That's not true, because they were about 15 or 16 because they hadn't passed the test.
And if you go back to, it's still in the New Testament, but when it talks about Jesus whenever he's born, and it stops whenever he was like around 6, and then it goes to when he was 30 and he starts his ministry. What was he doing in between then? He's probably learning to be a disciple.
And that's how he became a rabbi, because not many people can get through. Most people fail when trying. They must have just thought he was an exceptional person who was able to memorize all of the Bible, all of the Old Testament. So.
And then, whenever it came, it said that Jesus went into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. That is a special number. In the Bible, it means learning, or for the Hebrew people, it means learning. And who else? If you go back and consult the Bible, it means, Elijah did it, Moses did it, and Noah did it. Elijah was in the desert, and Moses was wandering around the promised land.
And for 40 years.
Oh, yeah.
And Noah was on a boat for 40 days and 40 nights, which means he's wearing the Elijah hat, the Moses hat, and the Noah hat all at the same time.
And then Jesus went into the wilderness to learn about God and himself. And then in the Hebrew, he went into one of the worst parts that you could ever go. If it rained, all the rain poured down into one area, and it would flood it, and if anybody was there, then they would die. And so they set up like those Chinese people do with the Kong things. Ding, ding. That means you better get the heck out of here,
or you're gonna die.
And so if anybody was with their sheep, they would
go off, and they
would like throw them up the mountain. Go,
yeah. And Jesus probably didn't even know he was God's descendant. He probably had to learn that, because why did he not do any miracles until he was 30 years old? Probably because it took him a while to realize that he was one of God's descendants, until he went into the desert, or until he was baptized and God came down on him. So.
And then it said, Jesus battled everybody. Okay.
What?
I don't know. Okay, we're done.
I can't even read what that says. Okay, I think we're done.